was a couple of ideas for sort of rally facilitators chairs, and that being to have a couple, obviously to sort of represent, I suppose, the occupation and facilitate the speakers. One being Susan, who just spoke before, done a lot of work at getting a lot of the speakers and pulling a lot of the outreach together, and also Tim over there in the red top, who's also, I think, done a hell of a lot of work here. I mean, there's a lot of people who have done a lot of work, but I think they would work well to facilitate the rally. So that's a suggestion. And yeah, I agree with the sort of sentiment that we don't want to personalise with, I think the scumbag term, etc., not personalising it, but the institutions, I think the institutions here, we're clear, the institutions that carve up forests and destroy our planet and, trash workers' rights and exploit people in, help the exploitation in sweat socks around the world and so forth. I mean, I think, it's pretty clear that we should be targeting those, but I like corporate pirates, and we also had an idea in the working group that the tour, Corporate Pirates Tour, that we actually sort of hammered up a little bit, and we have some of us dressed as tour operators, because there's actually tours that go through here, people have seen the tourists, but we do the Corporate Pirates Tour, and we say, well, we're now outside the Westpac Bank, and they are ones who organise the backing of these kind of environmental terrorists and da-da-da-da-da. So I think we can do that in quite a humorous way, and it actually could be something that carries on beyond Saturday, that we actually run it several times a week and do it as a bit of an outreach thing. So we're constantly going out and meeting people. So yeah, that's it.
I'd say, Westpac executives eat all the children or something. Anyway, who's next? Anyone? Yanni.
G'day everyone. Just quickly, I thought I'd give you some feedback. I didn't start off as someone that was part of this movement, thank you. But I'm reminded of someone that said, I think it was President Jackson, that if people understood how banks and money, central banks work, there would be a revolution the next morning. However, my feedback as someone who is not part of this movement is that remember, people that work in offices are not all scumbags. A lot of people that work 9 to 9 jobs are part of the 99%. And I'd like to reiterate that often lots of people are talking about getting a concise definition of what opposing the system is. And in the same breath they say, let's offer a 1 or 2% tax of the rich. I think that my proposal is that if you were to understand the trinity of how central bank systems work, in cooperation with government, sorry, I know you're bored, and transnational corporations, a tax will do nothing in supporting that. That's just my opinion as feedback. Thank you.
Okay, point of clarification, the tax that is proposed is on all financial trading. It's not a tax on their personal incomes. So it's any time they're just exchanging money between one currency or another or whatever, and they're just making massive amounts of cash. So that goes to the bottom strata of society to make changes in the world. And I really want to, the Robin Hood tax, right, at 1%, not 0.01 or whatever it was originally, it's 1%. And the other point of clarification is that it's not the only demand, it's just one.
I just wanted to also, hang on, just about the 1% thing as well, as in the 1% people, I think that might get confusing if we're calling for a 1% tax on the 1%, or the traders or whatever, trades rather. But I do want everyone to remember that we are actually against the people that also own the banks. We can't forget those people as well.
Thank you very much. Next, who's this? Nikki.
Hi everybody. It's awesome we're all still down here. I'm really proud and I'm really inspired. I just want to start by saying that. Second of all, and I think the most important thing to me, and I think to this whole movement, it might just be my own opinion, but I feel like it needs to be from a positive standpoint. Like the whole word against and anti and all that kind of stuff, I might come from like a bit of a spiritual background, but the way that I feel is as soon as you say anti like capitalism or, you know, anti whatever, it gives that last word the power, you know? So for me, thank you. For me, it's much more about pro. You know, what are we standing for? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is it? We want to have a more fair system. You know, it's not about, we don't want to shine the light on them because to me, it gives them more power. So I think it's about really knowing what we want, like really, really deep down, and that's what it is. And to me, that's much more inclusive as well. It really brings everybody in, you know? We're not like, they're there and we're there. It's like, everybody join us. We're here for world, you know, freedom and power, and we have the power. So, yeah, that's what I think is most important.
Inspiring words there, thank you.
Please speak to the agenda. Speak to the agenda item.
We're speaking to the agenda item now. We still have a speaking list.
Yeah, but it should be about the rally. It's about the agenda.
No, sorry. We just want to reiterate. We are talking about just corporate scumbags. We are assessing the name corporate scumbag as part of the rally. All right. We could have a working group on it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I'll be very, very quick because this isn't actually related, but Beth, if you know Beth, she's actually prepared dinner for us tonight. She'll be here maybe 8:30-ish, so when she comes, if you could all thank her. Cheers.
I just have one really quick thing to say, and that is with that word scumbag, if you want to seem less uneducated, more articulate, but still insulting, perhaps the word parasite works because that's what they are. They're parasitic, we are the hosts. It's articulate, it's intelligent, and it has less stigma.
Thank you very much. It's very interesting. Now, Simon, thank you. Who's next? Ziggy.
There's always going to be a 1% and a 99% because we are not exactly the same. The issue of the 1% and the 9% is the huge divide between that 1% and the rest of the 99%. And that is called inequality. And perhaps we should start emphasizing that word more often, equality and inequality, because this is exactly what we are protesting. We are protesting against inequality. And we can have an inequality parade and just mock at the absurdity and the grotesqueness of the inequality that we're currently experiencing, even in Australia, which is one of the most fair societies in the whole world. And perhaps instead of scumbag rally, it can be an inequality rally.